Hi, I'm Bryony, and I'm in my cozy wear, which can only mean one thing, that we're going to do some yin. Yes, we're going to do some post-screen yin. So this is like great if you've been at a computer all day or just maybe staring at your phone all day, or if you've been sitting down at work. So let's start in a rounded child's pose position. So come around onto your mat. Bring the knees together and just let everything round down and in. If you want to, you could put maybe a blanket underneath your forehead. You could put a pillow underneath your forehead. You can put a blanket underneath your hips or your butt. Just make sure you're arriving into a place that works for you. And take a nice big deep breath in. And I want you to hold your breath at the top. And then let that breath go through your mouth. Did you notice that your body just automatically let go of something? Do it again. Breathe in. Hold your breath at the top. And then let the breath go and just watch. Now let the breath be nice and deep. And tune into your body here on your mat. And tune into the fluctuations of the breath. And just start to let go of your day. Notice if anything is still quite strong in your auric field, in your mind. Notice that it's there on the surface. And see if you can just put it to one side. And be present with the time before you, which is this time on your mat. And so really just bow and curl into yourself here. Just giving yourself this time here on your mat today to bring breath and space into your body. And we'll just take about 1 more minute here in our rounded child's pose, just breathing and turning in towards the self. Play again with how deep can you breathe? How long can you make your inhale? And how long can you exhale? Is there anything that you could relax a little bit more? Maybe the shoulders, maybe the breath, maybe the hips. And then gently take your last exhale. Keep your eyes turned in toward yourself and you just start to peel up your spine so that your shoulders sit above your hips. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. Just noticing how you feel in this moment. There's no hurry. Just you and your breath and your mat. Then come forward into your tabletop position and just work through a couple of cats and cows. So as you inhale, tilt the sit bones up, pull in at your waist and look up towards your third eye. And then as you exhale, round into the back of your heart. And inhale, tilt, pull the chest forward. And exhale, round, gaze into your chest. Press the back of the heart up to the sky. Let's do one more. Inhale, forward. And exhale, round. We're going to come into melting heart. So I like to do my yin version with a block. So I'm going to take a block. You could also do this with a pillow or a bolster, or you could just do it straight onto the mat or a rolled up blanket. So I'm going to bring my chest, my breastbone, down onto the block. You want to keep your butt in line with your knees as you do this. If this is too much on your knees, you can also put a blanket underneath your knees. So maybe you want to go to the higher edge of the block. Just kind of play around and just do any little bits of adjustment to arrive into your melting heart. Now, if you're new to yin yoga, then it's really important that you understand that we're not here to force our bodies. So it's very different from our hatha, our vinyasa, our ashtanga yoga. And I always say we want to go to about 30% of where you would go in your hatha or vinyasa practice. And so we don't want to feel any tension in the body. We want to feel a little bit of tension, but not so much that we hold our breath or we're kind of like tensing our muscles. We want to relax all the muscles so that we can get into the yin aspects of ourselves. So if you're finding that this is causing a lot of stress in your body and in your breath, then I want you to come up higher from the ground. So maybe doing that by putting more blocks or pillows underneath the chest and bringing the ground up towards you instead of you trying to reach the ground. And when you find that place, tune in towards yourself. And I want you just to play this game of how deep can I breathe? Can you make your inhale longer than that of your previous inhale? And can you exhale more? Can you exhale more to the ground? Can you exhale something? Can you exhale deeper and longer? And then when the next inhale comes in, can you make it even longer, even richer? And then when you exhale, how deep can you make it? How much can you surrender? Melting the heart to the mat with every exhale. Be with the breath. Continue to melt the heart with every breath, every deeper exhale you take. Let's take one more breath here. And then gently press up through your hands and move your block or whatever's underneath your belly and slide forward. We're going to come into our Sphinx pose. So bring the elbows underneath your shoulders. You can interlock your hands here. A nice option is to bend the elbows and actually just support your head so your neck gets a little bit of a break. Maybe you want to place a blanket underneath your hips and your pubic bone. Again, make sure that this is a place where you are creating a stress-free environment for your body and your mind. And so we want to move away from any stress of the day, any stress from work, any stress from our screens. And so we turn our eyes towards ourselves. We tune into this very moment, and as we arrive, just notice, am I forcing my body to create something, a shape that it doesn't want to create in this moment? And if that is the truth of the moment, then what options can I take to better serve me? Where can I support my body by using blankets or blocks? Where am I grasping for deeper sensation when actually I don't need it in this moment? And I know personally for myself that I tend to want to grasp. I want to grasp for a deeper sensation, more pain, let's say, in the body as I stretch. But from many years of practicing yin yoga, it's brought me so much balance. That I see that I have that tendency, not only in my practice, but also in my daily existence. And by practicing yin yoga, it's brought me so much balance to know when enough is enough, to know that sometimes I don't have to go to the end range of my mobility to receive what I need. And that sometimes subtleness is so much more than I could ever imagine. So perhaps where in this moment is it actually enough, and perhaps where could you back off? Keep this beautiful little game of breathing deeply. Breathing deeply into the present sensations through the body. We've just got a few more deep breaths here in our Sphinx pose. At the end of your exhale, just bring your head down, create a little pillow with your hands. So you're in Shavasana prone. And just breathe into the whole back of your body. And then if it feels like it would be a good idea, just give your lower back a little wiggle from side to side. And then either come back into stillness or just keep wiggling a little bit longer. And just really feel into your body in this moment. Good, and then come up back into a tabletop position, and then take your right foot and step it forward. So we're in this lunge position. Now, I like to do this with a block propped up against my back thigh. So I'm going to take the block and put it on a diagonal and then push that into my thigh. Now what that does is it stops my leg from going to its full range of motion. So we're coming into this lunge position. I find, for me personally, that when I hold this one, it becomes very intense. And it's when I use the block, it just gives me that ability to relax all my muscles, which is the aim of this moment, and still allow myself to receive that very subtle opening that I'm after. So place a block like this if this feels good. If it doesn't, you don't have to do it. You could also fold a pillow and do it that way, or if you've got a big thick blanket. You can also bring the hands down if that feels better for you, or you can bring them onto blocks, or you could just put them onto your leg, which I'm going to do here. Remember that this is your journey. It's your session, so always take the options that best serve you in this very moment and not what you think you should do. And I've said it so many times, but this is one of the beautiful things about yin yoga is there is no alignment. There's no alignment. There's no specific place for the feet to be. There's no specific rules about where the gaze should be or the arms should be. It's about your body. No, it's about the posture fitting your body and not the other way around. So bring the posture to you. And then breathe. I always invite you to close down your eyes and just really be present with whatever it is that is arising for you in the moment. And inhale, that big, beautiful inhale. And again, see how deep and how long can you exhale, and perhaps as you take that deep exhale, where can you soften more? Or perhaps automatically you notice that the body just starts to release more. As you exhale, and you feel as if your whole body is just dripping down to the earth. Just letting your muscles be floppy. Great word. Floppy muscles. And we just got a few more deep breaths on this side. Remember, if it's becoming too intense in your back thigh or in any other part of your body, just make adjustments so that you're, as I've said earlier, only at about 30% of your end range of motion. If you're feeling any pain, then just back off for a moment or back out of the posture a little bit. One more breath. Good. And then just move whatever's underneath the back leg. Just shift your weight back a little bit so you're kind of like in this more 90-degree angle. And then just tune in here and breathe. What do you notice? What do you feel? What are you experiencing here? And then we'll make our way to the other leg. So nothing fancy, one leg back, other leg forward. And prepare whatever you're using, if you're using it, under the back leg. And then place the hands wherever it feels comfortable for you on this side. Just do any little bits of wiggling that you need to wiggle out before you arrive into stillness here on your mat. And arrive into giving yourself time here on your mat to really marinate into this posture, into this experience. Connect into the breath. How deeply can you breathe? How long can you inhale? And how much can you exhale? And can you notice that when you take that big, long, deep exhale, that the body really responds to it? Every exhale, can you feel that there's more that you can release through the body physically? Always another layer of tension that's just there on the surface. That as you exhale, you can just breathe it out. And so we're not forcing anything. We're not trying to get rid of anything. We're not trying to shove anything away. We're just breathing our body. And as we exhale, naturally, subtly, another layer just peels away. Just take one more breath. Good. And then gently just start to shift your weight slightly back. And just take a moment here and just feel this experience. Do you notice anything in that back hip area? Change in temperature perhaps? Good. So come around and place the block down and sit onto the block. You can do this with one or with two blocks. We're going to come into a supported malasana. So turn the toes slightly out and bring your elbows in. If you've been working on the computer typing, then you can actually just gently press the back of the wrists together for a little while, if that feels good. And then again, just adjust. I like to smoosh myself into the posture. And sometimes I invite you to support the hands onto the head. If you're going to do that, just bring the head up so it's not dropping down. I just want you to lift the head up, because if you've been on a computer or something, the head will have already been down. So maybe push the fingertips gently into the cheekbones or the head, just to keep the head lifting up today. And then do any last little bits of fidgeting and just commit to stillness here. Turning the eyes into the self. And gently feeling a pressing through the inner arms to the inner thighs. And remember, we're not here to feel a great big strain on our body, but just about 30% of where we would normally go, or where the brain or the ego wants to go. And then find that long, long inhale, nourishing, nourishing inhale, breath moving in. And then how much can you exhale here? And what can you exhale? So just following the breath in, how deep can you inhale? And how much and how long, and what can you exhale? Just take your last breath. And then from here, just cross the ankles and come into a seated position. Just bring your left hand behind your back, cross the right hand to the outer thigh. Lift up and just take a very gentle opening through the upper body. I don't want you to press and twist, just a very gentle upper body. Let's call it spin instead of twist. Just working with the breath. And try not to grip into the hips after we did all those nice releasing through the front of the hips there. So if you feel any strain in the hip flexors, then you've gone too far. And then just bring the torso forward, and then just hand to outer thigh, other hand behind your back, lift gently up, and again, just a very slight rotation through the upper trunk, the upper body. So we're not gripping the muscles in the arms or the shoulders or the hip flexors. It's just a very gentle spin, I like that word, of the upper body. And then just bring your chest forward, your shoulders over your hips. Just rest your palms down on your legs and just feel your breath breathing in and breathing out. And just take 3 big deep breaths here. And you can either stay here just following your breath, or you can lie down and take a beautiful, long, restful Shavasana. Just choose the end of your yin practice as it feels right for you in this moment. And I'm going to leave you here just to finish in a way that feels good for you today. Thank you for joining me for this yin practice today.